Movie news, Mission Impossible 7 Dead Reckoning IMAX. Welcome to Mirror Domain's Movie News, your place for entertainment headlines. It's a live news show, guys, for movie fans. Yes, live news right here, right now. All the top entertainment headlines, including Willow, not doing well with the Rotten Tomato score there, guys. We'll talk about that. Dwayne Johnson has some more images of the red one. And Dune Part 2 wraps up filming. We'll be talking about some Oppenheimer images that came out from the new Christopher Nolan movie that's coming out next year. My Hero Academia gets a live action series coming out. I don't know how that one's going to work, guys. But we start off today's show by talking about Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, Mission Impossible 7, guys. Sneak peek is going to hit IMAX theaters this weekend. So if you're going out to see Avatar: The Way of Water, and if you pay the extra $8 to see it in IMAX, because there's also 3D, then you're going to get a sneak peek at Dead Reckoning Part 1, and that almost makes me, well, it's just a sneak peek. I'm sure it's not going to be anything major, maybe just like maybe the opening credits, maybe the opening stunt, perhaps, kind of like what they did with The Dark Knight Rises, right? Those eager to see more of Tom Cruise's latest installment of his ongoing Mission Impossible movies won't have to wait long. The official Twitter page, behind-the-scenes footage. Okay, so that's what it is. It's not going to be a scene. It's a behind-the-scenes footage in IMAX. Well, we know that he does his own stunts in this one, right, guys? Always. We've seen him ride the motorcycle off the cliff and jump off of it and stuff like that. Maybe they'll show behind the scenes stuff of that, and it looks like maybe that's what you're going to get. Starting Thursday, December 15th, head to your IMAX and you'll get an exclusive behind the scenes look. Yeah, and it looks like it's going to be of that jump sequence. Yeah, only in IMAX, it says. So let's just see if I can make that bigger. Oh, and that's the Mission Impossible music, so I might... That's it. Experience it in IMAX, July 2023. That's all it's... yeah, so it's them on a ramp. Christopher McQuarrie there and him. Just looking at the stunt. My God, they're standing out on that ramp and they're not wearing any harnesses or anything like that? I don't know, man. You gotta imagine being like the insurance guys on one of these movies, and they see like Tom Cruise standing near the edge like that without a safety harness on. It's like, ooh. But yeah, we know that he puts his body on the line for us, for the entertainment value. That's why I respect Tom Cruise. Yeah, quite a bit. And I expect that Mission Impossible 7 Dead Reckoning Part 1 is just going to be awesome like the other ones. I'm looking forward to it. IMAX Dead Reckoning brings closure to industry's most memorable action. Yeah, because it's Part 1 and Part 2, and then that's what he said, that this will be the last ones for him. But you never know, if these two do really well, then of course money talks, right? So this weekend, guys, a sneak peek of Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning in theaters. If you go see the Avatar: Way of Water in the IMAX, you'll get a sneak peek this weekend. Now it says that it's on all IMAXs, right? Maybe. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What do you guys think about that? Does that get you any more hyped? Whoops, sorry. Does that get you hyped? Guys, if you don't know how this works, we do a live movie news show at 11 a.m. Eastern, Monday to Friday, where we talk about all the headlines. And if you want to follow me on all the other social medias, by all means, go there, and sometimes you check out behind-the-scenes stories and stuff like that, talking about behind-the-scenes kind of stuff for the channel here, for the channel and stuff like that. Okay, let's move on. Do you watch My Hero Academia? It's like an anime, right? So Netflix boards My Hero Academia live-action movie from Legendary. And Legendary just moved over to Sony, right? So there you go. Sony and Netflix? Joby Harold will write the screenplay from director Shinsuke Sato's English language debut as manga sensation jumps to live action movie realm. Now, if you are a My Hero Academia fan, I don't know, do you guys kind of take this one with a little bit of like hesitation, because they haven't really done a whole lot of justice to live action adaptations I'm just thinking like Cowboy Bebop didn't do very well. Um, Even like the normal anime stuff like Ghost in the Shell didn't do all that well. And I know that's manga. This is manga, but like that style. Um, I don't know. I know that My Hero Academia is huge and a lot has like a big fan base for it. I'm just kind of like they've botched it before, so they probably will botch this one because they just don't seem to understand what makes the manga successful. Is that it is like look at the expressions and stuff like that, right? Um, it's hard to duplicate that with people trying to animate like that because we recognize it as moviegoers that if somebody was like that responding to things, it's hammy, it's over the top acting, right? And while it works in cartoons, it doesn't work in real life. So some things just get lost in that presentation of that medium. I'm trying to say, right? So yeah, Netflix earlier has backed adaptations of Death Note, My Hero Academia as a manga. And the Death Note one didn't work so good either. Yeah. Legendary bought the rights in October, and so in 2018. So this has been in the works for a while, it seems. The adaptation will be produced by Mary Parent and Alex Garcia and takes place in a world where 80% of people have developed a power called a quirk. Okay, so people have powers in My Hero Academia. For superhero fanboy Izuki Midoriya, or aka Deku, born without a quirk makes him almost give up his dream of going to UA High School, the most prestigious hero training academy. But after a chance encounter with the legendary All Might, Deku starts on the road to become the greatest hero. Without a quirk. Without a quirk? Okay, so does he develop one? Fascinating premise, guys. My Hero Academia, live action from Legendary. Now, it's just getting underway in its production, so I don't know when. It doesn't say anything here, but the film. Hold on here. There's no word on casting for the live action adaptation, which may attract a host of Japanese American actors. Toho Company Limited will distribute the film theatrically in Japan. The film. Okay, so it's not, movie. Live action movie. So it's not going to be a series because it was a series, right? So even that, so you're adapting a manga and then you're adapting a series for a movie. I'm guessing that perhaps it'll be a continuation of what's going on in the series then. That's the only way that they could do it. You can't reintroduce. I don't know how that's going to go then. Because if you restart it, then you're rehashing everything that's been in the series, right? As a movie? I don't know. I'm sure that more details will come out. Not much more than other than the directors and the producers. So there you go. I'll keep my eye on it. And if it's something that gives you hesitation, I totally understand because they've messed that kind of stuff up before. Let's take some live comments here. Our Glass Viking says, Mission Impossible 7, they showed the train stunt in local news, so trailer should be pretty awesome. Well, it's not a trailer for the IMAX. It's that behind the scenes footage of probably that jump. But yeah, there was a train sequence that we've seen in the trailers for it, right? Where it goes off the cliff. Yeah, that'll be kind of cool. Yeah, manga shows its cast as caricatures, which have exaggerated actions and emotions. Live action might be tiresome after an hour and 30 minutes. Well, people doing that, but people just don't respond to it. Like that kind of thing. No, people don't respond. People don't normally do that unless they learn of like a new Taylor Swift song dropped, and I just get so excited that I'm like, yeah. That just doesn't happen. And to have like dialogue and scenes like that, it just doesn't transfer all that well. All right, let's move on to The Whale. Darren Aronofsky on fat suit criticisms around The Whale says that it makes no sense. The director also defends the casting of Brendan Fraser, calls the film an exercise in empathy, and The Whale opens up wider in more theaters this week, guys. I'll be going out to see it for sure because I want to see the performance from Brendan Fraser. You hear good things in there. Now, I didn't bring it up yesterday, but I'll bring it up today. And it's the Rotten Tomato score for this movie, guys. I was hyped because you hear all these good things about the performance in there, but apparently it's not that it's not being all that well received. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news in this kind of thing, but it just happens, right? The Whale. Let's pull up Rotten Tomatoes and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So I kind of know that. So I've braced myself for this when I go see the movie. I'm seeing it for the performances from. I want to see what Brendan Fraser does, and I want to see what Sadie Sink, who plays his daughter in it, because I'm a Sadie Sink fan. But yeah, the critics were not kind to it. 67%, 94% by the audience, but most of the people who got to see it in the 6 theaters that it was shown in, or were mostly probably the fan base for Brendan Fraser, because he does have a big fan base, and Sadie Sink. So those people, they still have the shine on them, so it's kind of like 94%. Ooh, yeah, I loved it. Because they sought out those 6 theaters and went out to see it in record numbers. So it's going to have, this is going to be one of those movies where the audience score is going to be higher. I would imagine that the audience score is probably going to level out somewhere around 85% maybe. Tomato score is probably going to stay around the same for the critics. The Whale. But there's like complaints about the fat suit. We'll talk about that in a second. Let's just take some snapshot reviews here. Huffington Post says the movie might largely be remembered for being somber, an emotion that stays at the forefront of the narrative, but it's optimism that buoys its ending. Optimism, okay. CNN.com doesn't like it. They say Fraser deserves praise for his buried under makeup performance, but that's not enough to keep the movie afloat. Not oh, come on, jeez, guys, is that supposed to be like because he's fat he should float? That's awful. That's terrible. CNN, you should be ashamed of yourselves. The Atlantic says, I'm not opposed to body horror, but the genre is best suited to vulgar ends. The Whale has presented itself as something noble. The Whale is presenting itself as something noble and ultimately uplifting, but it just can't make that sale. Can't. So it, Samantha Morton's in this. Cool. Hong Chow. We just saw her in The Menu, so we'll be looking forward to that. But the fat suit complaints are definitely out there. I got no. Like we heard that last year too with the Jared Leto in House of Gucci, right? Why couldn't you just hire somebody who was overweight like that? Why? It's acting, you know. People want to experiment with the makeup and stuff like that, and I hear that the performance is good, so I never understood the complaints either. Yeah, I guess maybe you probably should have hired an overweight actor, but being overweight's not healthy, man. Here's a lovely man. And it's great, but why? Why go there and wear a fat suit to play a 400-pound queer man? The Looker star asked. Who knows more about being obese, queer than another queer man? Again, it's kind of like you can't play that role unless you're overweight. No, you can't play that role unless you're queer. No, you don't, guys. It's called acting. That's where the left side takes it a little too far, which I don't agree with. They undermine their own interests when they push for something like that. It's ridiculous. Insists he didn't see coming when he first cast Fraser in the part. You know, who could have? Actors have usually been using makeup since the beginning of acting. That's one of their tools. Yeah, of course. Like all the way back to Lon Chaney, he was a master, right, of using makeup to do like Phantom of the Opera and Dracula and all that kind of stuff, right? And the lengths we went to portray the realism of the makeup has never been done before. One of my first calls after casting Brendan was to my makeup artist, Adrian Moreau, and I asked him, can we do something that's realistic? Because if it's going to look like a joke, then we shouldn't do it. I think they've done it. I think he looks... I think from what we've seen in the trailers, he looks good. Like the makeup, it looks believable, right? And you know what? He was when he was first cast. Like he had to get himself down into shape for other movies now and stuff. He's lost weight again, but he was a bigger dude. He wasn't as big as that, but he knows what it means. He knows, and I know what it feels like too, that when you're a little bit overweight and stuff like that. So I'm guessing like it's just acting, guys. Whatever. Who cares about the big fat suit? It's coming out later this week. I'm going to go see it, and I'm looking forward to it. And I pay no mind to nonsense like this. Maybe that's what I should do. Just say, no, fat phobic narrative. That's probably not what it's saying. Just people just trying to push weird agendas into movies that just, it wasn't there in the first place, guys, until you brought it up. I'm still looking forward to The Whale, despite what the critics say about it. So I want to check it out for sure. Talking about Taylor Swift. Guys, happy birthday to Taylor Swift. It is her birthday today. December 13th, Taylor Swift's Shake It Off copyright suit has been dropped. Cool for her birthday, maybe? No. I didn't even know about this. Shake It Off. Yeah, I guess somebody had accused her of some plagiarism. A trial had originally been set for January 17th. Previously, I guess this was started in 2020. Shaken Off, a copyright lawsuit that alleged she had plagiarized the lead song to her 1989 album. Okay, well, that happens all the time, too, in music. And you know what? It's because they use common chord progressions. It's a lot of music is common chord progressions. And we just talked about that on the pre-show, actually. We did the pre-show here on the channel, where sometimes, I do whip out the old guitar. And what I'll talk about this, guys, and I said it, I'll just quickly reiterate it here again. It seems like this has come up quite a bit. Okay, so let's just use the common scale here, right? Like a D scale. Okay, it's got all those notes in the major scale. And then the tonic is the one note. And then out of that major scale, there's only two other major chords. So you got the G major, and then you got the A major. And of course, you got the G major. Now, the other ones are minor notes, but it's common for songwriters who write songs like this, just to use one, the tonic, and then the 5. And let's go up to the 6, which is the B, and then down to the 4. Okay, and then back down to the tonic. So it's 1, 5, 4, 6, 1, or 1, 6, 5, 4, 1. And it's just variations on those. Sometimes they use the 2 or the 3, but those are minor. So that's why it sounds common, and that's why some people can get away with like, oh, you use the same chord progressions. Well, a lot of songs use the same chord progressions. What changes it up is that sometimes, the chords don't have to be necessarily always just the major chord. It could be like the 7th. You can add a 7th note in there. You can, and it's all about the strumming and the intricacy of what you do in between and stuff like that changes it up. The timing. So you see lots of this stuff happen, and it looks like it's been dropped. So good for her. Kudos. Yeah. Sometimes I don't know the cases. I don't know the ins and outs of this case. Sometimes it's just people just trying to catch on for a little bit of money, right? Hey, that sort of sounds like my song, and her version made a whole bunch of money. So yeah, just shake that S off. Somebody said, love everything she does, sings, says, my life is better because of her work. Thank you. So Farrah really likes that. Yeah, leave the girl alone. That's utterly preposterous. Well, I just explained why, guys. So there you go. Let's keep on talking about Taylor Swift because it is her birthday. And I want to celebrate that fact. She was on a Variety Studios Directors on Directors, and she was talking with Martin McDonagh. Now, I need to watch this episode later today. Maybe I'll do it for her. Martin McDonagh, he did In Bruges, and he did The Banshees of Inisherin. So that's cool. Talked with Taylor Swift. Because she's a director. She did that short film, and then she directs all of her music videos, and she is going to be directing her own movie for Searchlight, so that's cool. I'm hyped about this. I want to check this out. So they have kind of like the transcript of their conversation up there on Variety's page. That'll be cool. And again, we saw the other day that Guillermo del Toro has come out and offered her advice and stuff, offered her books and stuff to her directing endeavors, and wishes her all the luck. And that's cool. So it also seems like Martin McDonagh is also going to be doing that as well. Cool. So she's got like the support structure around her to make this work. She knows how productions work now. Cool. I'm gonna have to check out this piece because I'm a Taylor Swift fan. She always takes a good photo. Wow, she does. All right. Enough about that. Let's move on, guys. What's next? Oppenheimer. Oh yeah, got a couple of headlines for Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer that comes out next year with Cillian Murphy. Christopher Nolan says Oppenheimer brings back a trick he used in Memento. Yeah, because Oppenheimer, it looks like it's going to be in black and white, guys. And Memento was also in black and white. So what's he talking about here? And there's also some headlines out there about some of the explosions, how he recreated an atomic bomb explosion. I got that headline pulled. We'll talk about that. Let's see what he's talking about, his trick from Memento, though. This was in an interview with Games Radar that was going to be in Total Film. Let's see what he says. I very much love the structural assistance and the aesthetic charge of shifting between color and black and white that I had on Memento. I'd always been looking for a reason to go back to that, and in the case of Oppenheimer and the way in which we tell this story, it's very subjectively told, but also with a more objective story strand that intertwines with that. It was really the perfect time to go back to that device that I love so much. So, okay, some of it will be in color then? Is that what he's saying? That he liked to use that contrast of switching back and forth? So maybe some parts will be in color, and then in flashbacks it'll be in black and white. Because I think that's the way it was for Memento, right? No, in Memento it was his brain was remembering. That's when it was black and white. But that's cool. No, I remember that now. Yeah, because all of Memento wasn't in black and white. It was color. And we've only had the teaser of this, and then Total Film published a bunch of shots in it that's going to be in their magazine next month. So just taking a look at them here, we can see that some of them are in black and white. This is the guy who developed the atomic bomb, right? Oppenheimer. Cillian Murphy. Do I recognize anybody else in here? It's a big cast. Is that David Strathairn? Is he in this movie? So yeah, there's definitely shots of him in color there. There's we saw this one in the Twitter roundup yesterday. That's Emily Blunt there, and I'm looking forward to her in that. He climbs up a tower of some kind. Robert Downey Jr. is going to be in this one, so that's cool. Yeah, that's cool. I dig that. I guess these are protests or rallies or something to not use it. I don't know what the heck this is. Of course, it's Christopher Nolan, so he's shooting it in IMAX. Yeah, Nolan's got just the way that James Cameron has a love affair with 3D. Christopher Nolan has that love affair with IMAX. You heard me talk about that kind of stuff before. So yeah, he recreated or he simulated what the first atomic bomb was supposed to be like. Or at least that's what he's boasting, right? He used practical effects for the atomic bomb scene in Oppenheimer. Let's see. I think recreating the Trinity test without the use of computer graphics was a huge challenge to take on. Andrew Jackson, my visual effects supervisor, I got him on board early on, was looking at how we could do a lot of visual elements of the film practically, from representing quantum dynamics and quantum physics to the Trinity test itself, to recreating with my team, Los Alamos, up on a mesa in New Mexico. What the heck is he talking about here? Extraordinary weather. A lot in which we needed of the film in terms of very harsh conditions out there. There were huge practical challenges. Okay, so it sounds like they set off a big bomb, a real big bomb, to emulate the, that shot where their cheeks are wiggling and stuff like that. That kind of thing, right? That's what we're going to see in this film. So, for their determination, it's a story of immense scope and scale, and one of the most challenging projects I've ever taken on in terms of scale. Really? Screenwriter. No. This is Nolan? Really? And in terms of encountering the breadth of Oppenheimer's story, there were big logistical challenges. Okay, yeah, of course. Wow, this is a long-winded quote. But July 21st is when this comes out. We've already had the teaser for it, and it's Christopher Nolan. He's going back. If you like Dunkirk, I'm guessing it's going to be along that kind of flavor. Oppenheimer. I like the cast. I think, sadly, Tenet did take some of the wind out of the sails for a lot of people, for Christopher Nolan. And I said it the other day, I liked Tenet when I saw it in the theater, but when I rewatched it on Netflix, I think it was, it didn't hold up as well. It didn't. But I still like Christopher Nolan quite a bit. I still trust him. He's still one of my favorite go-to directors, and I'll be looking forward to Oppenheimer. What do you guys think about that kind of stuff? Do you dig that? Are you looking forward to it? July 21st next year, guys. Arglass says, happy birthday to Taylor. So much packed into a young life. Great arse. Indeed. She's like 32 now or something. Is that how old she is? Let's take a look. How old is Taylor Swift? 33. Well, 33. 1989. Wow, 33, and she was just born she was born when the Bleach album came out. Wow, cool. Fascinating. Yeah, who would have known that she was born on December 13th? Very curious. All right, let's move on. Guys, if you don't know how this works, we do other things on this channel as well, besides the live news show, where you guys can come and interact with me daily, 11 a.m. We do series watch-alongs. We are 3 episodes into The Peripheral on Amazon Prime. Chloe Grace Moretz sci-fi thriller. I'm really enjoying this series quite a bit. It's up on a playlist you can follow right now. Join us tomorrow for episode 4. Maybe episode 5 as well. I don't know. Wednesday, we did all 8 episodes of Wednesday, guys. Jenna Ortega is so awesome. Go check that out. She knocks it out of the park. And later on today, guys, at 1 p.m. today, we're going to be watching Mortal Kombat 2021. Cole Young brings it. He wins us over, right, guys? I can't wait to tell you this. It's going to be a great thing. And then hey, if you like these kinds of movie reactions, we did RRR last week. Yeah, we had lots of fun with that. Great movie. Talking about great movies, we also did Pinocchio last week. Guillermo del Toro's. I love this movie, guys. It was probably going to end up in my top 10 of the year for sure. And on the weekends, we do a horror weekly roundup. We talk about all the horror movie news headlines of the week. And of course, then we do movie news. So there's going to be lots of fun stuff here on the channel for you guys to check out. We do movie reviews, trailer reactions, straight out of the theater reactions. Hey, there's lots of cool things here. Hit that thumbs up button, guys. Subscribe. And yeah, sometimes all those little shorts that we do, you can find extended versions of those on TikTok and Instagram. Is it your birthday today or tomorrow, James? I usually don't like to announce when my birthday is, but I share the same birthday as a very famous person that I admire greatly. There you go. All right. Dune Part 2. Dune Part 2. It's today, guys. Anyway. Dune Part 2. Wraps filming. Cool. Timothée Chalamet and Denis Villeneuve. Wait, that's not Denis Villeneuve, is it? It looks weird there for some reason. Yeah, no, that's Denis Villeneuve. Is that him? Whoops. Sorry. Uh, no, that's not him. That must be the director of photography or something. Who is that guy? His rap filming. This was on his Instagram. I don't know who the heck that is. Oh, with his dad. So that's his old man. I was like, oh, yeah. So Dune Part 2 is rap, like for the whole cast or just him? Um, that's a wrap on Dune Part 2 on his Instagram. Dune star Timothée Chalamet posted a new image of himself alongside his father, Mark Chalamet, with the two flashing fingers on camera. He's excitedly announces in the caption, Dune 2 has wrapped. So it sounds like it's for everybody, but okay. Well, we knew that they've been shooting it for a while, right? Because it's supposed to be out next year. I'm just keeping my fingers crossed that they can keep that release date. Dune Part 2. Yeah, he's been posting some of the behind the scenes stuff every now and then with cryptic stuff, like just him standing there. Well, not cryptic stuff, just abstract stuff of him standing in front of rocks. Working with same crew has made production smoother. Well, that's good. November 3rd, 2023. So that's when that comes out. It's going to be one of my most anticipated movies of the year. For sure. It's going to have big cast. Florence Pugh has joined the cast. Christopher Walken has joined the cast. Austin Butler has joined the cast as one of the bad guys that's going to be facing off against him. I just can't wait for it. Dune Part 2, guys. Yeah, cool. All right. What's next? Dwayne Johnson drops Krampus tease with Red One action scene behind the scenes image. A lot of behind the scenes images recently from this movie Red One. And we took a look at one yesterday. It was just him and Chris Evans walking into like a graveyard and with the camera set up. It wasn't that much. And what do you mean Krampus tease? What the heck is that? Is he running towards Krampus? Camera's on a rig there. Some kind of a dolly with wheels. You can see it there. Okay. Krampus tease. Yeah. I don't see how that's a Krampus tease. Am I missing something here? Photo shows running at night. Intriguing tease films potential villains saying something. Sometimes you run towards the fire and sometimes you run into Krampus. Oh, that's what he said down here in the description. Yeah, so he said that in this description. Sometimes you run into Krampus. Because it's a Christmas movie. I thought it was about two parents that fight for like a kid's toy or something like that. It has to do with Santa. Well, we see Santa in it. J.K. Simmons plays Santa. We saw that yesterday. The Rock's just doing his thing, promoting the project. He's good at doing that. Yeah, two parents there. Seems to be a lot of this leaked stuff coming out. And I think it's going to be for the Red One. Argos puts a 25-pound badge. Oh, happy birthday. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is my birthday. It is what it is. Hey, guys, after a certain age, you just don't. Well, thank you very much. Yeah, it was cool. It's cool. Well, things seem to be going well for Dwayne Johnson, myself, Taylor Swift. You know, it's a good day for us, I would say. It's not a good day for Lucasfilm or Ron Howard or anybody involved with Willow. Let's talk about it, guys. Willow's Rotten Tomatoes audience score plummets as fans slam Disney Plus series. I was hoping that I was waiting for like the early buzz on Willow to decide if we would do full watch-alongs for the series, because we are looking for stuff to pick up now to do more watch-alongs, because we took our break there from our marathon. But I was hoping Willow would be good enough because I like Warwick Davis. He's a stand-up dude, and from what I'm hearing, it's not really, the series isn't really about him. It's just about other people, and he's kind of like a background character, which sucks. That's like, oh man. And I wanted to watch. Maybe I'll sit down and watch it over the holiday break here, and I'll just kind of post I'll do a series review for it maybe. But if it's not good, I don't feel like sitting with you guys going, oh, this is terrible. we luckily haven't gotten through a series like that. Well, because if I do, it's kind of like what happened with Midnight, the Midnight Club, where I just stopped. Right? It was kind of like or with Loki, it was kind of like I stopped, and if I felt like I was a completionist, I would force myself to sit through the rest of it, but I kind of didn't. So it bums me out that the Rotten Tomato score is 24% there for Willow, or 25% by the audience, by 1,463 audience scores. Critics like it, 84%. Willow, 84% by the critics. I just, people saying bad fan fiction, unwatchable, shadow of the movie. Because I wanted to go back and watch the original Willow, because it's been a while since I've seen it, and then I would have gotten back into the series. But if it's gonna be like this, see, this is where like reviews and stuff matter. I guess this is why I still do these kinds of things, right? After Kathleen Kennedy, Jonathan Kasdan, and Ron Howard make the box office bomb solo Star Wars story, the Dream Team reunites to ruin another classic, says somebody. Wow, and 20 minutes of it was all it took. Disney has single-handedly ruined almost every 80s sacred franchise. No, they haven't. That's being a little bit overly dramatic. I'll give it a chance. I'll give it a fair shake, but I feel like it's not something that I want to. It doesn't sound like it's an experience that I want to share with you guys. It's kind of like, yeah. Willow's first 3 episodes were a bit of a drag, but I'm persevering until the end. Arglass Viking says, okay. Yeah. Kind of a bummer thing. Because it's not like Wednesday, right? Wednesday's, like, for a good series, 72% by the critics. Audience liked it for 86%. So it's, yeah. Very Willow, 25%. That's a lopsided score for sure. Only 58 critics have reviewed Willow so far for 3 episodes. It's a bummer. It is a bummer. Bummer, man. Okay. Witch Mountain. What the heck is Witch Mountain? Well, it's going to have, it's going to be led by Bryce Dallas Howard, another one of my favorite, actresses, but she's also a director as well. Witch Mountain pilot, led by Bryce Dallas Howard, moving forward at Disney Plus. The long-hour drama is a modern take on the original film. Hour-long drama. What is this? So is it going to be a series or what? A return to Witch Mountain is near, as Disney Plus has given the go-ahead on a pilot based on Witch Mountain franchise, reports Variety. Cool. The film, based on Alexander Key's 1968 fiction novel Escape to Witch Mountain. In the book, Tony and Tia loses her husband to mental illness. A mother and wife who loses her husband to mental illness. Okay. So it's got some really serious subject matter to it, right? As her daughter Tia struggles with her dad's passing, Audrey strives to reassure Tia that she knows no sign of following her father's dark spiral. Okay, so she's worried that the daughter will have a mental illness as well. Well, I'll tell you this. She'll be able to handle that material well. She handles, like, I love her as a director. I think she's directed some of the better Mandalorian episodes. She's building up her resume as well to take on, hopefully, a full-length feature film. I can't wait to see that unfold for her. She understands the craft of acting. That's always good. So, cool. The pilot's cast will be led by Bryce Dallas Howard. Okay, so she won't be directing it. Howard will portray the mother who loses her husband. Okay. Good to see that she's also still acting, but I want to see her directing. I thought it was going to be directing. As her daughter, Tia, struggles. Yeah, okay, we just read that, man. Howard and Disney have maintained a consistent working relationship, because of the Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett. Yeah, she did one for Boba Fett too, right? And she did the voice of Yaddle in Tales of the Jedi, which I still need to see. And she's set next to direct the reboot of Flight of the Navigator. Cool. Now that's cool. I like Flight of the Navigator. That was my first introduction to Sarah Jessica Parker, Flight of the Navigator. Yeah, where that alien ship comes down to travel with this young kid to take him back to the, because he got knocked into the future, right? So he takes him back to the past. Um, Kind of fun little story. Paul Rubens was the voice of it, and he could still voice him. So they're remaking this one. Cool. Veronica Cartwright, Cliff DeYoung, and Sarah Jessica Parker was in this. I remember she was kind of like the, because he has to go to this military compound, and she was like the orderly that helped bring in his food and stuff, right? It was cool. I like that. It was a small little movie. Indeed, Flight of the Navigator. So she's doing that. That's cool. The pilot episode will also feature Levi Miller as Ben, a troubled youth with a bad temper, drawn to Tia. Bianca B. Norwood, mature best friend. So who's playing Tia? Bianca? Best friend. Tia's best friend. Why am I not seeing who's playing Tia? Okay. Well, cool. I'll be looking forward to that. Witch Mountain. Reboot. Doesn't give me a release date here either. But I'm guessing if they got the cast for it, it's going to be out pretty soon. But Bryce Dallas Howard, great talent, both in front and behind the camera. And I do like Ron Howard's work. I didn't hate Solo as some people did. It just, for me, I was just, they should have just called it like Dak, make it about another smuggler and not Solo. That's the way I felt about that. Anyway. Wednesday series was a gift, set the bar high with that one. Yeah, it was. It's going to be one of the, like, I was trying to think about my favorite series of the year so far. It's tough, man. Between Stranger Things season 4 and Wednesday, I think we're got to be in the top 3. House of the Dragon for me was pretty high there too. Just consistently good storytelling, right? Rings of Power was really awesome in the last half of the season, but it took us a while to get there. So I kind of do have to detract a little bit from Rings of Power because of the first couple of episodes were a little shaky. But I loved Galadriel in it, and I watched it mostly because of her. But I still think right now Wednesday was a great series. I had lots of fun with Cabinet of Curiosities too. But yeah, Wednesday's got to be one up there for sure. 1 or 2 between that and Stranger Things. It'll be up there for sure. All right, that's pretty much all I got in the can for today. I can't believe it. It wasn't a very big day in the realm of movie news. The only other thing that dropped was a teaser trailer. There's going to be dropping a full trailer tomorrow, guys, for something called 65. An astronaut crash lands on a mysterious planet only to discover that he's not alone. It's going to have Adam Driver and Ariana Greenblatt. I don't know who that is. Chloe Coleman. Do we know who Chloe Coleman is? No, I guess I don't. Doesn't seem very familiar to me. But the teaser trailer dropped. It's just them waking up in a cave. So he's a pilot. He crash lands in a cave, and he finds that he's not alone, right? I got a little, now that I know the premise, I'm getting maybe a little bit of like that Enemy Mine movie with Dennis Quaid and Lou Gossett Jr. back in the 80s. Like, he was a pilot that crash landed on a planet with an alien guy, and they had to work and survive together. But maybe this is going to be him working to survive with a younger girl. So I like Adam Driver. It's going to be produced by Sam Raimi. So that's cool. And yeah, they wake up in a cave, and then you hear kind of noises. We watched the full teaser on the pre-show today, guys. So if you want to go check that out, it's a teaser. It's very much a teaser. Looks like he's got some future tech here with a weapon of some kind of an energy weapon. So we'll be watching the full trailer of this tomorrow, guys, on the pre-show. Wednesday, tomorrow. And then we'll be talking about this trailer for 65 on the main show tomorrow. Yeah. For sure. I like Adam Driver. I do. He's kind of had like a weird career though. Like he's had big success. I like the smaller art house films that he does, like with Marriage Story with Scarlett Johansson. I prefer those kinds of stories more than like the big pomp ones like House of Gucci and Star Wars. Like it was perfect casting for Star Wars. Perfect casting. They didn't use him properly. That sucks. But you heard me rag on about that for a long time, but we'll be checking that out. All right. Let's see what else is going on out there in the realm of movie news. Let's see if perhaps I've missed something. And if I did, well, we'll probably catch it up on the... We'll spend a little bit more time today on the Twitter, because we kind of had to go through that yesterday because the show went a little bit long. Yeah. Okay, so it doesn't look like anything's set up there. Let's take a look and see if I missed anything. Westworld being removed from HBO, not a big thing. Adam Driver, yeah, oh yeah, he was in Logan Lucky too. Adam Driver, he was really good in that. And with Daniel Craig. Logan Lucky, that was good too. Christopher Nolan, Nuclear, Timothée Chalamet. Yeah. Okay. So let's go over to the Twitterverse. There seems to be a little bit more there for us to plunder. Could be a little bit of a shorter show today, but that's okay. That'll make sure that I'm on time for the 1 p.m. show of Mortal Kombat. Okay. Women Talking. New poster for Women Talking. And yeah, this says Jessie Buckley in it, right? Jessie Buckley. Did I say that properly in the men text? I need to fix that maybe. Yeah, we talked about Jessie Buckley in Men, and I'm looking forward to this. I hear good things about this. Inspired by true events. It's got a great cast. I'm a huge fan of Rooney Mara. Claire Foy, Jessie Buckley, Judith Ivey, Ben Whishaw, and Frances McDormand. Cool cast. We don't see enough of Rooney Mara. Oh, Jessica Chastain. Marie Claire. Wow, I got to put that heart on that one. That's stunning. She would have been a perfect Poison Ivy, I think. Wow. Teaser for 65. Yeah, we just did that. First poster for Ari Aster's new film, Beau is Afraid, starring Joaquin Phoenix. Is that going to be an animated movie? Is it? Beau is Afraid. Is it? Is that an animated movie? I do like Ari Aster. Hereditary is one of those movies. That's aging like a fine wine. Disappointment Boulevard. So that's what it was going to be originally called. Ari Aster's Disappointment Boulevard is now titled Beau is Afraid. Okay. Well, hey, it's a movie news show. We're learning things here. Ari Aster. I was a little bit mixed on the Midsummer. I like the cast for Midsummer. A lot of people like Florence Pugh in it, but it was kind of like it was dragged out too long. It was too long of a movie. Why am I not finding it here, guys? Disappointment Boulevard. Here we go. This is what it was previously titled. A decade-spanning portrait of one of the most successful entrepreneurs of all time. So it doesn't sound like it's going to be following the horror aspect of it, but it's got Joaquin Phoenix, and we like him. Parker Posey. Cool. Amy Ryan, Kylie Rogers, Nathan Lane, Michael Gandolfini. Okay. Well, but Ari Aster is a director that you got to keep your eye on because, he's done better work than Alex Garland has. But he's one of those other directors where it's kind of like you're curious to see what he's doing, kind of thing, right? Um, yeah, it doesn't say if it's going to be animated or not. Expected 2023. Indiana Film Journalist Association nominations. Okay, so yeah, some of them I just this is where if you I've said there's way too many awards, and this is what I mean, guys, that we get so bogged down in awards season that by the time the Oscars come around, I just people are just tired of it. What's going on here? R.I.P. Coach. Did a famous coach just pass on? Mike Leach. Mike Leach. Not a coach that I'm familiar with. Is that a basketball coach? Football coach. Okay. R.I.P. Coach Mike Leach. Okay, so he was for college football. That's Michigan State. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, it's just when it's trending like that, I catches my eye. Okay, so we're back with that award show stuff. Let's move on. What's next? The trailer for the documentary Lionesses: How Football Came Home. Okay. Martin McDonagh's Banshees of Inisherin is now available on VOD. Okay, so that's on VOD. Cool. This one is something we could do a watch along to. I think we could do that one. There's only one nude scene in it, full frontal. Not by one of these guys. So if you were hoping to see Brendan Gleeson in the buff, you don't. But it is kind of gruesome when he starts cutting off his fingers. Yeah, that is kind of gross. Fabelmans is now available on VOD. Really? That's quick. That's a quick turn. Fabelmans is going to be a tragedy of the year. Because as I said, I think it is one of Spielberg's better films of the last 2 years, 3-4 years. I know that everybody was in love with West Side Story, but Fabelmans, you feel inspired after watching that movie. Like if you're a fan of filmmaking or you want to draw, paint, you just feel like that's what your craft is, and you want to do that when you finish watching the Fabelmans. For sure. I wish Rooney Mara worked with Daniel Craig again for the third tattoo film. Well, I wish that too, but Daniel Craig the studio didn't want to pay what Daniel Craig and Rooney Mara had signed up for money-wise, right? Yeah. Brendan Gleeson fully closed is enough for me. Yeah. That is what it is. Henry Golding at Avatar Way of Water premiere. Henry Cavill at the Way of Water LA premiere. Looks like he's growing in a beard. That'll have to come off if he's going to play Superman, guys. I like the color of the jacket though. That blue, that dark blue. I dig that. Double-breasted there too, right? Is that what that style is called? So I dig it. Zoe Saldana. This will be, wow. Cool. I like that dress. Yeah, guys, I thought it would be Avatar Watch Week. Like, they haven't heard that much more buzz. Tomorrow, we're going to be looking at the early buzz, because I'm sure all the review embargo will come down on Avatar, and tomorrow will be the first big day, and then Thursday afternoon, I'm going to see Avatar. Sadie Sink played Savior Complex. Okay. Am I not reading that right? Played Savior Complex by Phoebe Bridgers on the set of Taylor Swift's All Too Well. Yeah. Wonka and Dune Part 2 starring Timothée Chalamet will both release next year. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to the Wonka for 2 as well. It's just not up there for me as much as Dune, but I'm looking forward to it. HBO Max has canceled Love Life. Yeah, there was that headline that they canceled Love Life. They got rid of Westworld and stuff. Whatever. I don't have HBO Max right now. More awards nomination stuff. Yeah, we have It's challenging to sift through all this stuff. I think that's all we got. Madeline Klein, she was in Knives Out, right? Yeah, she was in Knives Out 2. Knives Out 2, sorry. Glass Onion. Doja Cat's Vegas has been deemed ineligible for Oscars consideration. Really? Doja Cat. Are you guys a Doja Cat fan? I think maybe her track was the least favorite one that I liked. I like the actual, when it sounds a little bit more like Elvis. Like the soundtrack was good. I think her, like they did try like a rap or a hip hop version of the song. I think it was early when he went out at night, right? It's when her song was out there. Yeah, that was the least effective one. Whatever. Bummer for Doja Cat fans, though, I suppose. And that's where we left off yesterday. That's where we're at. 11:56, guys. I'll take a nice, good, long hour here to have my breakfast. And join us in the 1 p.m. for our full live watch-along of Mortal Kombat on Netflix. We're going to have lots of fun because you know how I feel about Cole Young, the so-called main character. We're going to have lots of fun, raising that character and making fun of him. I know you shouldn't do it, James, but hey, you know what? It is my birthday, so I can do whatever I want. So there you go. That's the way that the movie news has been today. If it's a 24-hour news cycle, guys. If a big trailer just drops out of the blue, pay attention. I'll do a trailer reaction for that as quickly as I can. And if not, join us tomorrow for more movie news. And then join us in an hour for Mortal Kombat. I'll see you guys next time on